Hi guys, and welcome to your weekly horoscope. This one is for Monday the 10th of October going through until Sunday the 16th of October 2022. Thanks for joining me. It's a pleasure to be with you today. I'm going to go through each day this week to see what the planets are doing, what relationships they form amongst themselves, and what energy that brings up. And the point of these horoscopes is to try and understand what that energy is all about, because it's going to influence all of us down here on planet Earth. So you can align yourself with the good things and surf that wave and have a great time and avoid some of the potential issues that could come up. So this week, I'm really looking forward to doing this horoscope because it looks super positive. I've kind of titled this as Artists Week because if you are creative, if you're a painter or a writer or a sculptor or a composer, anything like that, the ideas really flow and you're able to capture them in some sort of tangible format very easily. And also beyond like working creatively, people are more creative when it comes to their own ideas and themselves. So when you're having discussions with people, you'll find that people are much more open-minded than they usually are. There's a sense of harmony and kind of a brotherhood of man, although that may be a bit much. But there's a sense that people want to understand and want to find common ground. So there's an atmosphere of cooperation and productivity. And then also what I noticed is that this week is strangely specific. Like each day almost has a unique theme and the energy hops around very quickly. So it's important to kind of keep your eyes and ears open, to be willing to go with the flow and to change direction. If you stay super rigid this week or to say, this is what I'm doing Monday to Sunday, that's it, you're going to experience some issues and frustrations. But yeah, being adaptable this week will serve you. So let's look at Monday then. Monday the 10th of October, we've got the moon in Aries forming a square with Pluto in Capricorn. Yeah. So the moon in Aries is very much about having the energy to make a fresh start. It's a fire sign. It's the first sign of the zodiac. And we're just coming off a full moon in Aries. So this is kind of like an energetic leftover from the day before. And it really urges you to make changes in your practical circumstances on your own, based on your own feelings and desires, plural. Pluto is in Capricorn, so Pluto is the planet of transformation and change, and Capricorn is work, and it's an earth sign that is focused on your surroundings, your practical environment, and your work. So anything that you're dissatisfied with in that area, you'll find the solution quite quickly and then immediately know what you can do about it to alter it. The Aries moon also sextiles Mars in Gemini, so you're not shy on Monday. And it quincunxes Mercury in Virgo. Mercury is the communication planet, it rules Virgo. So that gives you the ability to find the answers very quickly on Monday. If you're unclear about something and you want that to change, you'll know where to go, what information to look at to get the answers that you need, so you can resolve the issue or take the appropriate action. So the Mars in Gemini and Mercury in Virgo is, we've got both sides of the coin of Mercury here, because Mercury in Virgo is receptive and I want to learn and listen. And Mars in Gemini is very outspoken and it wants to be heard. So it's finding balance in between the two. Venus is in Libra, and I feel that is kind of the solution, because if Mars in Gemini can be a little bit abrupt and a little bit outspoken or too outspoken, Venus in Libra tempers that because it really harmonizes the relationships between you and others. You have empathy, you're able to appreciate another person's perspective, all of that. And then Venus in Libra opposes Chiron in Aries. So there may be a bit of a back and forth between, do I focus on what I want to say and what I need, or do I defer to other people or listen or sit back and observe? So that conflict in itself is nice because it gives you like a 3 seconds before you speak up or before you make a decision. You consider everything that's around you. So that's partially, or that reflects why this week is going to be so harmonious and positive, because you're not super certain of yourself and you do hesitate a little bit. So the actions that you then take or the things that you say are much more likely to be informed and accurate and a positive contribution. So you add a lot of good stuff to everything you come into touch, everything that you come into contact with on Monday. The moon enters Taurus at 11:04 in the evening. So the moon in Taurus moves into an earth sign that's very focused on financial security, and creature comforts. So things really slow down by the end of the day. So on Monday, starting out, you're still very, very productive and work-oriented. So if anything doesn't suit you anymore, use the Aries moon and Pluto in Capricorn to change that and alter it. Finding the solutions to problems is easy, and then taking the steps necessary to resolve things, you can do that without really any stress. So if you have a big to-do list, really hammer that today. You'll get loads done. If you do work creatively as a writer or as an artist, tackle the most difficult aspects of your work today. You know, if you have a specific piece that you're working on, let's say a sculpture, and the arms is particularly difficult, and you're leaving that for a good day, you look at it on Monday, you'll be surprised. It's also a great day on Monday to get clear on your finances and to restructure things and to move things around and to get organized, and particularly to feel a sense of, I'm on top of this, I know what I'm doing. Tuesday, the 11th of October, we've got Mercury going into Libra at 1:51 in the morning. So Mercury in Libra is very artistic. It likes to express itself, and it's not just focused on facts and figures. It's also based on feelings and the tone and the way things come across, so the delivery. So that elevates your ability, your relationships get a lot easier just because you come across very well and you're considerate, and other people pick up on that and appreciate it. So you're kind of creating this positive environment for yourself. On Tuesday the 11th, we've got the Libra Sun then forming a trine with Saturn in Aquarius. So you've got appreciation and respect for other people's experience and their wisdom. It quincunxes Uranus and Taurus, and you even want to learn from other people so that you can affect change in your own life. The Taurus moon conjuncts Uranus in Taurus and quincunxes Venus in Libra. So you're okay with change as long as those changes are positive and improvements. Downgrades aren't going to be so popular with you, obviously. Mars in Gemini squares Neptune in Pisces. That's interesting because to me that says you're very willing to speak to the higher realms or to listen to your own intuition, your own inner guidance when you're making decisions, as well as other people. So you're very teachable on Tuesday. And maybe because of that, Tuesday is going to be a day of creativity and harmony. The positive work that you do or the connections that you make, they're going to lead to something surprising and unexpected. So surround yourself with people and then expect some good news to come via those people. Wednesday, the 12th of October, the Taurus moon conjuncts Uranus in Taurus. So now we've got the willingness to kind of accept chaos or change and to let go of control. It squares Saturn in Aquarius, so you're less willing to listen to other people. You're more interested in kind of doing what suits you. The Taurus moon then trines Pluto in Capricorn and it sextiles Neptune in Pisces, as well as quincunxing the Sun in Libra. So this is interesting because it makes your relationship with information and other people much more complex. So one, you're willing to listen and to learn. You continue to be very open-minded. You have respect for the wisdom of other people, but you're more likely to challenge it, especially now that you have specific ideas for the kind of change you want to affect. At the same time, you're considerate and will take the other person's point of view into account, and you have major loyalty to your own intuition, to your own instinct. So you're really operating on all levels, and if you're trying to make a decision on Wednesday, you've never been more aware of what is going on around you, so you can feel very reassured that any decision you make on Wednesday is going to be a good one. Wow. Mars in Gemini squares Neptune in Pisces. I mentioned that, I think. That goes both ways. So it allows you to connect to the higher realms, but also it makes it much easier for you to receive information through your imagination and through your intuition. It's kind of like a doorway that opens up between you and the higher realms. And Mercury in Libra opposes Jupiter in Aries. Again, this is interesting because it's the consideration of other people in the group versus what I want. So you will always stick up for yourself within a group, but you're also still very diplomatic and a useful member within the group. So you're perfectly positioned. It's very political. Nice. So Wednesday is really the day to sit down and to have like a family meeting or a council meeting if one is necessary. So if the family needs to make a joint decision or the group wants to learn something as a unit, it's the best day to come together and to find common ground. And any of these group activities will be surprisingly productive. So Tuesday and Wednesday, expect to be handed something positive, and Christmas has come early here. Thursday, the 13th of October, we've got the moon going into Gemini at 7:08 in the morning. So you're even more willing to share your view on things and to make progress. The Gemini moon trines Mercury in Libra and sextiles Jupiter in Aries. Oh, okay. So I think that with this combo, you will feel the need to express something of your own. This is a day for just you. It's like, okay, enough of all this teachability and being good and productive and learning. And I just want to have fun on Thursday. I really think you go off on your own little mission here. Venus in Libra trines Saturn in Aquarius, so you still have consideration and appreciation for other people, but it quincunxes Uranus in Taurus. But you want something exciting on Thursday. Excuse me. So do that in a way that's like benign, you know. Do something fun for yourself that has a positive outcome. Ultimately, on Thursday the 13th, I get the sense that you go rogue a little bit. And the inner child demands your attention and wants to have a good time and not be so responsible. The whole week here supports you when it comes to your creativity. So you can either let loose in your work or go on an adventure and be deliberately unproductive and just enjoy yourself. Ironically, that's going to be very productive for the rest of the week because it's energizing, it recharges your batteries. Friday, the 14th of October, we've got the Gemini moon conjuncting Mars in Gemini. So Gemini is the twins, it's an air sign, and it's very much about relationships and finding a way forward, being able to visualize what isn't there yet, having a conversation, and the art of relationship. It's very good at that. So the moon, relationships are important. Mars and Gemini, you want to be seen and heard in those relationships. Trine Saturn in Aquarius. So Friday is interesting because you want to be recognized for what you've got to say. Hear me, I've got an opinion too, which immediately sets the tone for conflict. If everyone wants to be heard, no one's listening. Venus is in Libra, which tempers the whole thing again, and the Sun is in Libra. So it's not that dangerous or challenging, but it's a lot, the energy feels less pleasant than it has all week, because there's the potential for conflict now, and it hasn't really shown up all week. The Gemini moon squares Neptune in Pisces, so it's still open door policy when it comes to your imagination and channeling amazing info, channeling spiritual healing and healing energy to other people. And it sextiles Chiron in Aries. Okay, so that's interesting because this isolates you in a sense, because you start to think, well, you know, I'm very sensitive and I have this special connection with something bigger. That's why I have to be heard, because I'm right in this situation. Again, that escalates things, because if everyone else thinks they're right, then it sets the scene to have an argument. Venus in Libra trine Saturn in Aquarius. So on one hand, on Friday, we've got the potential for conflict. On the other hand, we've got Venus in Libra soothing things and Saturn in Aquarius saying, have respect for the greater wisdom. So this is a weird day. Excuse me. It's a weird day because there's the major potential for conflict, but with Venus kind of tempering the whole thing and soothing it, the way I think it translates is that the potential appears in the realm of men versus women, which is weird. I think that's if you've heard someone say, if you're angry or if you're in an argument, it's never about what you're actually arguing about. It's something else, like hurt feelings or fear or whatever it is. So that's what I get here. I think there's the potential for conflict. You're internally conflicted. You want to share your opinion. You want to be right and you want some appreciation, but so does everyone else. So it doesn't really work. So instead of resolving that issue, people will focus on something else instead. And it could be men and women, or it could be seeing the differences between you and other people, regardless of what the difference is. But it's basically the tendency to focus on the differences, not the similarities. Okay. So it's literally a case of, Mars, men are from Mars, women are from Venus, that kind of energy. It will feel very other. So Friday the 14th, I don't think is the day to hash things out at all. Excuse me, I got something on my lips here that's annoying me. Using your own independent skills and expertise is the best way forward on Friday the 14th. So basically I'm saying suit yourself and kind of stay in your own lane on Friday. Saturday the 15th of October, we've got the Gemini moon forming a conjunction with Mars in Gemini. So I want to talk and I want to express. And it quincunxes Pluto in Capricorn. So that says that actually your perception of the situation is now very important, because any decision you make on Saturday is going to have a huge impact on your life. The moon enters Cancer at 6:11 p.m. So you're very focused on the family and other people's needs. That's interesting because now we're setting a conflict between, I want to make a decision that'll impact me and other people, but I feel very, very concerned about the family. It's the kind of thing where it's like we're moving to a different country because of work, and the kids have to change schools, and the only school in that area is a boarding school. We don't want to send the kids to boarding school, but it's the only school. So are we going to send them? It's that kind of difficult decision. The Cancer moon also squares Jupiter in Aries, which is interesting because most people would say, oh, like my family comes first, or a lot of people would say that, and they would put themselves last. But the Cancer moon square Jupiter in Aries indicates that you're not going to put yourself last. So if you have to make a really difficult situation where there are no winners, but on some level you do want to not completely be the lose out in that process, making that kind of tough decision on Saturday is something that you'll be able to handle and do nicely and well. So on Saturday the 15th, I do think you have a big choice to make when it comes to your work, your finances, or your living situation. You may feel conflicted about what it is you want to do and what your circumstances allow. So choose the path of least compromise if you have to make a decision on this day. So again, basically the same thing, the decision or the option that means you don't lose out completely. Yeah. And with that said, obviously there is no way to completely win, because then you wouldn't be compromising at all. Sunday the 16th of October, we've got the Cancer moon forming a square with Mercury in Libra and Chiron in Aries. So, that's nice, because it's very like, I want to express the most intimate feelings in the most ethereal and beautiful way possible. Wow. And Chiron in Aries. So Sunday, it's interesting because we're going this week from like, I want to teamwork and stuff, to later on in the week where there's a sense of, I need my voice to be heard. So you become much more focused on self as the week goes on, particularly into the weekend. And here on Sunday, that climaxes, because you're like, I have these very delicate feelings, or not delicate, these very important insights that I want to share, and I need to have peace and quiet to concentrate and to express that. So if you can relate to that energy, like I really need like a bit of a bubble here so I can create in peace, Sunday is the day to do that. The Cancer moon also sextiles Uranus in Taurus and quincunxes Saturn in Aquarius. Okay. So creativity coupled with the willingness to learn. And then the Sun in Libra quincunxes Neptune in Pisces. So that's a different way your imagination is stimulated now. Before it was through the moon. Now we've got the Sun, your conscious awareness, connected to the dream planet. So it's like dreaming while you're awake, especially if you're going to be creative. So Sunday, you may find it difficult to make kind of real world practical decisions. And you may want to retreat and engage in this creative process instead. I think that allowing your mind to wander a little bit and to do these kind of things that feel restful or creatively fulfilling or inspiring, they'll help you to see things more clearly. And I think that's the best way of using the energy on Sunday. Yeah. So really a fabulous opportunity here this week for anyone who's trying to express themselves through art or design or flower arranging or whatever you feel is a good format for you, something that allows you to really express yourself through it. Okay, so that's what I get for you this week. I hope that gives you an idea of what you'll be working with. If you have any questions that for me personally, then please get in touch with me for a personal reading. Go to gregoryscott.com, click on book your reading. If you scroll down a little bit, you get to a button that says book your reading. Click on that to order your reading with me. I use astrology in my personal readings. And to draw up your birth chart, I need your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. Once I have that info, then I can draw up your natal wheel, your birth chart, and it shows me a great deal about you, your life purpose, your default setting, the direction you'd like to move towards, work, family, children, travel, anything at all really. So if you have any questions or you're in a transition period and you want to see what the best option is, please do get in touch with me for a personal reading. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Please hit subscribe and share the video online. Have an amazing day, and I'll speak to you for the daily tarot readings. Check out the video on the full moon in Aries, by the way, on the 9th of October as well. That's still relevant, especially on Monday. And yeah, I'll speak to you for this weekly horoscope next week. Have a wonderful time, and I'll speak to you soon. All the best.